This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to find out how you can volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Alice Atwater. The Canterbury Tales by Geoffrey Chaucer. Edited by D. Laing Purves. This reading is based on the book The Canterbury Tales and Other Poems. The original text contains poems by Chaucer and a lot of notes and explanations by the editor. To view these, please click on the Gutenberg eText link on the LibriVox catalog page of the Canterbury Tales. The Second Nun's Tale. The minister in Norris unto vices, which that men call in English idleness. The porter at the gate is of delices, to eschew, and by her contraire her oppress, that is to say by lawful business. Well ought we to do all our intent, lest that the fiend through idleness us hent. For he, that with his 1,000 cordes sly, continually us waiteth to beclap, when he may man in idleness espy, he can so lightly catch him in his trap, till that a man be hent right by the lap, he is not ware the fiend hath him in hand. Well ought we work, and idleness withstand. And though men dreaded never for to die, yet see men well by reason doubteless, that idleness is root of sluggardy, of that there cometh never good increase, and see that sloth them holdeth in a leas, only to sleep, and for to eat and drink, and to devouren all that others swink, and for to put us from such idleness, that cause is of so great confusion. I have here done my faithful business, after the legend, in translation, write of thy glorious life and passion. Thou with thy garland wrought of rose and lily, thee mean I, maid and martyr, Saint Cecilia. And thou art the flower of virgins all, of whom that Bernard list so well to write. To thee at my beginning first I call. Thou comfort of us wretches, do me indite thy maiden's death, that won through her merit the eternal life, and o'er the fiend victory, as man may after readen in her story. Thou maid and mother, daughter of thy Son, thou well of mercy, sinful souls' cure, in whom that God of bounty chose to won. Thou humble and high o'er every creature, thou noblest, so far forth our nature, that no disdain the Maker had of kind, his Son in blood and flesh to clothe and wind. Within the cloister of thy blissful sides took man's shape the eternal love and peace, that of the trine compass lord and guide is whom earth and sea and heaven out of release. Aye, Harry, and thou virgin Wemelis, bare of thy body, and dweltest maiden pure the creator of every creature. Assembled is in thee magnificence, with mercy, goodness, and with such pity that thou, that art the Son of excellence, not only helpest them that pray to thee, but oftentime of thy benignity, full freely, ere that men thy help beseech, thou go'st before, and art thy lives leech. Now help, thou meek and blissful fair maid, me flemed wretch in this desert of gall. Think on the woman Canani that said that whelpes eat some of the crummes all, that from their lord's table by fall. And though that I, unworthy son of Eve, be sinful, yet accept my believe. And for that faith is dead without to workes, for to worke give me wit and space, that I be quit from thenes that most dirk is. O thou, that art so fair and full of grace, be thou mine advocate in that high place, whereas withouten end is sung Hosanna, thou Christe's mother, daughter dear of Anne. And of thy light my soul in prison light, that troubled is by the contagion of my body, and also by the weight of earthly lust and false affection. O haven of refuge, O salvation of them that be in sorrow and distress, now help, for to my work I will me dress. Yet pray I you, that reade what I write, forgive me that I do no diligence, this ilka story subtilly to indite. For both have I the wordes and sentence of him that at the sainte's reverence the story wrote, and follow her legend, and pray you that you will my work amend. First will I you the name of Saint Cecilie expound, as men may in her story see. it is to say in English heaven's lily, for pure chasteness of virginity, or for she whiteness had of honesty, and green of conscience, and of good fame the sweete savour Lily was her name. Or Sicily, is to say the way of blind, for she example was by good teaching, or else Cecilie, as I written find, is joined by a manner conjoining of heaven and Lea, and herein figuring the heaven is set for thought of holiness, and Lea for her lasting business. Cecilie may eke be said in this manner wanting of blindness, for her greate light of sapience, and for her thewes clear, or elles, lo, this maiden's name bright of heaven and Leos comes, for which by right men might her well the heaven of people call, example of good and wise workes all. For Leo's people in English is to say, and right as men may in the heavens see the sun and moon and stars every way, right so men ghostily in this maiden free, so when of faith the magnanimity, and eke the clearness whole of sapience, and sundry workes bright of excellence. And right so as these philosophers write, that heaven is swift and round and eke burning, right so was fair Cecilie the white, full swift and busy in every good working, and round and whole in good preserving, and burning ever in charity full bright. Now have I you declared what she hight. This maiden bright Cecile, as her life saith, was come of Romans, and of noble kind, and from her cradle fostered in the faith of Christ, and bare his gospel in her mind. She never ceased, as I written find, of her prayer, and God to love and dread, beseeching him to keep her maidenhead. And when this maiden should unto a man y-wedded be, that was full young of age, which that it called was Valerian, and come was the day of marriage, she, full devout and humble in her courage, under her robe of gold that sat full fair, had next her flesh y-clad her in an hair. And while the organs made melody, to God alone thus in her heart sang she, O Lord, my soul and eke my body gie unwemmed, lest that I confounded be. And for his love that died upon the tree, every second or third day she fast, I bidding in her orisons full fast. The night came, and to bedde must she gon with her husband, as it is the manner, and privily she said to him anon, O sweet and well-beloved spouse dear, there is a counsel, and ye will hear it, which that right fain I would unto you say, so that ye swear ye will not bewray. Valerian gan fast unto her swear, that for no case nor thing that mighte be, he never should to none bewrayen her, and then at erst thus to make him saide she, I have an angel which that loveth me, that with great love, whether I wake or sleep, is ready I my body for to keep. And if that he may feelen out of dread, that ye may touch or love in villainy, he right anon will slay you with the deed, and in your youthe thus ye shall die. And if that ye in cleane love me guy, he will you love as me, for your cleanness, and show to you his joy and his brightness. Valerian, corrected as God would, answered again, If I shall truste thee, let me that angel see, and him behold, and if that is a very angel be, then will I do as thou hast prayed me. And if that it a very angel be, then will I do as thou hast prayest me. And if thou love another man, forsooth, right with this sword then will I slay you both. Cecilie answered anon right in this wise, If that you list, the angel shall ye see, so that ye trow of Christ, and you baptize. Go forth to Via Appia, quoth she, that from this towne stands but miles 3, and to the poore folkes that there dwell, say them right thus, as that I shall you tell. Tell them that I, Cecile, you to them sent, to show you the good Urban the old, for secret needes and for good intent. And when that ye Saint Urban have behold, tell him the wordes which I to you told, and when that he hath purged from you sin, then shall ye see the angel ere ye twin. Valerian is to the place gone, and right as he was taught by her learning, he found this holy old Urban anon, among the saintes burials louding. And he anon, without tarrying, did his message, and when that he it told, Urban for joy his hand is gan uphold. The tear is from his eyen let he fall. Almighty Lord, O Jesus Christ, quoth he, sower of chaste counsel, heard of us all, the fruit of thilke seed of chastity, that thou hast sown in Cecilie, take to thee, lo, like a busy bee, without a guile, thee serveth aye thine own thrall, Cecilie. For thilke spouse, that she took but now, full like a fierce lion she sendeth here, as meek as ere was any lamb to owe. And with that word anon there gan appear an old man, clad in white clothes clear, that had a book with letters of gold in hand, and gan before Valerian to stand. Valerian, as dead, fell down for dread, when he him saw, and he uphent him tho, and on his book right thus he gan to read. One Lord, one faith, one God without a mo', one Christendom, one Father of all also, above in all, and over all, everywhere. These wordes all with gold y-written were. When this was read, then said this olde man, Believest thou this, or no? Say yea or nay. I believe all this, quoth Valerian. For soother thing than this I dare well say, under the heaven no wight thinke may. Then vanished the old man, he wist not where, and Pope Urban him christened him right there. Valerian went home, and found Cecilie within his chamber with an angel stand. This angel had of roses and of lily coronas too, the which he bare in hand. And first to Cecile, as I understand, he gave the one, and after gan he take the other to Valerian her make. With body clean, and with unwemmed thought, keep I well these coronas too, quoth he. From Paradise to you I have them brought, nor ever more shall they rotten be, nor lose their sweet savour, truste me. Nor ever wight shall see them with his eye, but he be chaste, and hate villainy. And thou, Valerian, for thou so soon assented hast to good counsel, also say what thee list, and thou shalt have thy boon. I have a brother, quoth Valerian tho, that in this world I love no man so. I pray you that my brother may have grace to know the truth, as I do in this place. The angel said, God liketh thy request, and bothe with the palm of martyrdom ye shalle come unto this blissful rest. And with that word Tiburce his brother came, and when that he the savour undernomen, which that the roses and the lilies cast, within his heart he gan to wonder fast, and said, I wonder, this time of the year, whence that sweete savour cometh so, of rose and lilies, that I smelle here. For though I had them in mine handes too, the savour might in me no deeper go. The sweeter smell, that in my heart I find, hath changed me all in another kind. Valerian said, 2 crownes here have we, snow white and rose red, that shine clear, which that thine eyen have no might to see. And as thou smellest them through my prayer, so shalt thou see them. Levy, brother dear, if it so be thou wilt without a sloth believe aright, and know the very troth. Tiburce answered, Sayest thou this to me in soothness, or in dreame hear I this? In dreames, quoth Valerian. Have we be unto this time, brother mine, y wise, but now, at erst in truth our dwelling is. How know'st thou this? Quoth Tiburce, in what wise? Quoth Valerian, that shall I thee devise. The angel of God hath me the truth y-taught, which thou shalt see, if thou wilt reny the idols, and be clean and elles not. And of the miracle of these crownes, tway Saint Ambrose in his preface list to say. Solemnly this noble doctor dear commandeth it, and saith in this manner: The palm of martyrdom for to receive, Saint Cecilie, full filled of God's gift, the world and eke her chamber gan to wave. Witness Tiburce's and Cecilie's shrift, to which God of his bounty woulde shift coronas too, of flowers well smelling, and made his angel them the crownes bring. The maid hath brought these men to bliss above, the world hath wist what it is worth, certain, devotion of chastity to love. Then showed him Cecilie all open and plain, that idols all are but a thing in vain, for they be dumb, and thereto they be deave, and charge him with his idols for to leave. Whoso that troweth not this, a beast he is, quoth this Tiburce. if that I shall not lie. And she gan kiss his breast when she heard this, and was full glad he could the truth espy. This day I take thee for mine ally, said this blissful faire maiden dear, and after that she said as ye may hear. Lo, right so as the love of Christ, quoth she, made me thy brother's wife, right in that wise anon for mine ally here take I thee. Since that thou wilt thine idols despise, go with thy brother now, and thee baptize, and make thee clean, so that thou mayst behold the angel's face, of which thy brother told. Tiburce answered and saide, Brother dear, first tell me whither I shall, and to what man. To whom, quoth he, come forth with good cheer, I will thee lead unto the Pope Urban. To Urban, brother mine Valerian, quoth then Tiburce, wilt thou me thither lead? Methinketh that it were a wondrous deed. Meanest not that Urban, quoth he though, that is so often damned to be dead, and wans and halkes always to and fro, and dare not ones putte forth his head? Men should him brennen in a fire so red, if he were found, or if men might him spy, and us also, to bear him company. And while we seeke that divinity that is hid in heaven privily, algate burnt in this world should we be. To whom Cecilia answered boldely, Men mighte dreade well and skilfully this life to lose, mine owen deare brother, if this were living only, and none other. But there is a better life in other place, that never shall be loste, dread thee not, which Godde's Son us tolde through his grace, that Father's Son which alle thinges wrought, and all that wrought is with a skilful thought. The ghost that from the Father gan proceed hath souled them withouten any dread. By word and by miracle high God's Son, when he was in this world, declared here, that there is other life where men may won. To whom answered Tiburce, O sister dear, saidest thou not right now in this manner, there was but one God, Lord in soothfastness, and now of three how mayst thou bear witness? That I shall tell, quoth she, ere I go. Right as a man hath sapiences three, memory, engine, and intellect also, so in one being of divinity three persons there maye right well be. Then gan she him full busily to preach of Christe's coming and his paines to teach, and many pointes of his passion, how Godde's Son in this world was withhold, to do mankind a plain remission, that was ybound in sin and cares cold. All this thing she unto Tiburce told, and after that Tiburce, in good intent, with Valerian to Pope Urban he went. That thanked God, and with glad heart and light he christened him, and made him in that place perfect in his learning, and Godde's knight. And after this Tiburce got such grace, that every day he saw in time and space the angel of God, and every manner boon that be God asked, it was sped full anon. It were full hard by order for to sayn how many wonders Jesus for them wrought, but at the last, to telle short and plain, the sergeants of the town of Rome them sought, and them before Almach the prefect brought, which them opposed, and knew all their intent, and to the image of Jupiter them sent, and said, Whoso will not do sacrifice, swap off his head, this is my sentence here. Anon these martyrs that I you devise, one Maximus, that was an officer of the prefects, and his cornicolare them hent, and when he forth the saintes lad, himself he wept for pity that he had. When Maximus had heard the saintes lore, he got him of the tournementores leave, and led them to his house without a more. And with their preaching, ere that it were eve, they gonen from the tormentors to reave, and from Maxim, and from his folk each one, the false faith to trow in God alone. Cecilia came, when it was waxen night, with priestes, that them christened all in fear, and afterward, when day was waxen light, Cecile them said with a steadfast cheer, Now, Christus owen knights lefe and dear, cast all away the workes of darkness, and arme you in armour of brightness. Ye have forsooth done a great battaile, your course is done, your faith have ye conserved. O to the crown of life that may not fail, the rightful judge which that ye have served shall give it to you as ye have it deserved. And when this thing was said as I devise, men led them forth to do the sacrifice. But when they were unto the placed brought, to tell us shortly the conclusion, they would incense nor sacrifice right not, But on their knees they sette them adown, with humble heart and sad devotion, and loste both their heads in the place, their soules went to the King of grace. This Maximus, that saw this thing betide, with piteous teares told it anon right, that he their soules saw to heaven glide, with angels, full of clearness and of light, and with his word converted many a wight, for which Almachius did him to beat with whip of lead till he his life gan leat. Cecilia him took, and buried him anon, by Tiburce and Valerian softely, within their burying place under the stone. And after this Almachius hastily bade his ministers fetchen openly Cecile, so that she might in his presence do sacrifice and Jupiter incense. But they, converted at her wise lore, wepte full sore, and gave full credence unto her word, and cried more and more, Christ, Godde's Son, without a difference, is very God, this is all our sentence, that hath so good a servant him to serve, thus with one voice we trow, though we sterve. Almachius, that heard of this doing, bade fetch Cecilie, that he might her see, and elder first, lo, this was his asking. What manner woman arte thou? quoth he. I am a gentle woman born, quoth she. I aske thee, quoth he, though it thee grieve, of thy religion and of thy believe. Ye have begun your question foolishly, quoth she, that wouldest two answers conclude in one demand. Ye ask lewdly. Almach answered to that similitude, Of whence comes thine answering so rude? Of whence? quoth she, when that she was freined, Of conscience, and of good faith unfeigned. Almachius saide, Takest thou no heed of my power? And she him answered this, Your might, quoth she, full little is to dread, for every mortal manne's power is but like a bladder full of wind y-wise. For with a needle's point, when it is blow, may all the boast of it be laid full low. Full wrongfully begunnest thou, quoth he, and yet in wrong is thy perseverance. Know'st thou not how our mighty princes free have thus commanded and made ordinance, that every Christian wight shall have penance, but if that he his Christendom withsay, and go all quit, if he will it renay? Your princes erren, as do your nobly doth, quoth then Cecile, and with a wood sentence yet make us guilty, and it is not sooth. For ye that knowe well our innocence, for as much as we do reverence to Christ, and for we bear a Christian name, yet put on us a crime and eke a blame. But we that know thilke name so for virtuous, we may it not withsay. Almach answered, Choose one of these two, do sacrifice, or Christendom renay, that thou mayest now escape by that way. At which the holy blissful faire maid gan for to laugh, and to the judge said, O judge, confused in thy nicety, wouldest thou that I renay innocence? To make me a wicked wight, quoth she. Lo, he dissimuleth here in audience, he stareth and woodeth in his advertence. To whom Almachius said, Unseely wretch, know thou not how far my might may stretch? Have not our mighty princes to me given ye both power and eke authority, to make folk to dien or to liven? Why speakest thou so proudly then to me? I speak not but steadfastly, quoth she. Not proudly, for I say as for my side, we hate deadly thilke vice of pride. And if thou dreade not sooth to hear, then will I show all openly by right, that thou hast made a full great leasing here. Thou sayest thy princes have thee given might, both for to slay, and for to quick a wight. Thou that mayest not but only life bereave, thou hast none other power nor no leave. But thou mayest say, the princes have thee maked minister of death, for if thou speakest of mo thou liest, for thy power is full of naked. Do away thy boldness, said Almachius tho, and sacrifice to our gods ere thou go. I reckon not what wrong that thou me proffer, for I can suffer it as a philosopher. But these wronges may I not endure, that thou speakest of our goddess here, quoth he. Cecile answered, O nice creature, thou saidest no word, since thou spake to me, that I knew not therewith thy nicety, and that thou wert in every manner wise, a lewed officer, a vain justice. There lacketh nothing to thine outward eyen, that thou art blind, for thing that we see all that it is stone, that men may well espien, that ilke stone a god thou wilt it call. I rede thee, let thine hand upon it fall, and taste it well, and stone thou shalt it find, since that thou seest not with thine eyen blind. It is a shame that the people shall so scorne thee, and laugh at thy folly, for commonly men wot it well over all, that mighty God is in his heaven high, and these images well mayst thou espy, to thee nor to themselves may not profite, for in effect they be not worth a mite. These wordes and such others saide she, and he waxed wroth, and bade men should her lead home to her house. And in her house, quotha he, burn her right in a bath with flames red. And as he bade, right so was done the deed, for in a bath they gan her fast shetten, and night and day great fire they under betten. The longe night, and eke day also, for all the fire, and eke the bathe's heat, she sat all cold, and felt of it no woe. It made her not one droppe for to sweat, but in that bath her life she must lette, for he, Almachius, with full wick intent to slay her in the bath his sonde sent. 3 strokes in the neck he smote her tho, the tormentor, but for no manner chance he might not smite her faire neck in two, and for there was that time an ordinance that no man should do man such penance, the 4th stroke to smite, soft or sore, this tormentor he durste do no more. But half dead, with her necke carven, there he let her lie, and on his way is went. The Christian folk, which that about her were, with sheetes have the blood full fair y hent. 3 days lived she in this torment, and never ceased them the faith to teach, that she had fostered them, she gan to preach. And them she gave her mebles and her thing, and to the Pope Urban betook them tho, and said, I aske this of heaven's king, to have respite 3 days, and no more, to recommend to you, ere that I go these soles low, and that I might do worch here of mine house perpetually a church. Saint Urban with his deacons privily the body fetched, and buried it by night among his other saintes honestly. Her house the church of Saint Cecilia hight, Saint Urban hallowed it, as he well might, in which unto this day in noble wise men do to Christ and to his saint service. End of the second Nun's Tale.